Language School. I am very happy to have you here today. Your interest about Greek language and culture means really a lot. So I hope you will enjoy this webinar because this is also its aim, to spread some knowledge about Greek curiosities regarding Greek language and Greek culture in a happy way, as you may be understood from the title of this presentation. So let's begin. As you maybe know about Greeks, and as you can assume from the title of this presentation, Greeks are very expressive. If you have watched movies with Greeks, or if you are or ever have been in contact with a Greek, you have maybe noticed that while talking, they use a lot their face expressions, their body, and especially their hands, like me, making gestures. Because of the fact that they are intense at all levels, all these moves reflect at their voice also. So they laugh loudly, they speak loudly, and they produce some strange sounds which accompany all their experiences. And that is exactly our focus today: the interjections by Greeks and the circumstances when they produce these interjections. So today we're going to combine sounds and conditions which are sometimes related with Greek traditions. But first of all, let's see in general what an interjection is. Of course, you all know, and there are interjections in every country. It is something that happens worldwide. So, even though first this was a phenomenon that wasn't so famous for research by linguists, lately it is a field that more and more researchers prefer. As a result, there are more and more researches about interjections. Of course, there are consequently many categorizations which originate from these researches. In order to understand better the interjections in Greek, we are going to follow this Ameka and Vrzbika's categorization because it is very detailed. According to Ameka and Vrzbika, interjections can be expressive, which can be either emotive or cognitive. They are emotive when we show our feelings, like if we taste a food and we don't like it, we can do something like blach, I don't like it. Or they can be cognitive if we show our mental state, like if we just understood something and we can say, aha. The second category is conative, when we want to cause an action, for example, by doing this s, and usually combined with this s, we want to make the other person stop talking. And we can tell that also to a cat or an animal in general. So if we do this to a cat, we want the cat to get closer. And the third category is fatigue, which we use when we want to maintain the communication, to show to the other person that we're listening to them. And we can do like, ne, okay. At this point, I would like to make clear that there is a thin line between interjections and routines or formulae. Like, for example, perastika, which means get well soon, and it is a formula. The difference is that when we use an interjection, it is not necessary that the other person is going to answer. It is more spontaneous. But when we use a formula, we expect that the other person will respond, because formulae are social indicators. Another category that is similar with interjections are words that imitate sounds, as you can see here. Like, for example, this meow, which cats do, and in Greek it is like meow when a cat growls. But here it hasn't to do with a mental state as it happens with interjections. At this webinar, we're going to concentrate to the first case, that is to say the interjections, and sometimes we're going to see some formulae also. As I have already mentioned, Greeks are very expressive. They are really expressive. So they use interjections and formulae since the birth of somebody. When somebody sees a newborn baby, they usually spot, saying "ftu ftu," in order to protect the child from the evil eye. In most cases, if the person that sees the baby doesn't do that, the parents see them as a threat for the baby. This happens in general when somebody gives a compliment. Afterwards, they have to remove the evil eye by spotting and say "ftu ftu ftu." Some years ago, it was more widespread as a tradition. Another strange thing is that we wish to a newborn baby, as you can see here, "να σας ζήσει." And this means that you wish that the baby will live. And that is to say that you wish that the baby won't die. You may wonder, what kind of wish is this? But it is a wish that had survived throughout many years because during Middle Ages, it was a very frequent phenomenon that the babies died from diseases. So there is an explanation for this interjection. So now, as it is the 27th of November and Christmas is close, we can see some expressive emotive interjections related to Greek traditional Christmas foods. In Greek, when we taste something, we usually say mmm if we like it, and bliach, as we saw, if we don't like it. So I would like to show you some Greek traditional Christmas foods, like pork with celery, chirino me selino, blood pudding, which we call boubari, and it contains bowels, and chicken, kotopoulo. We also consume that during Christmas period. I guess the only food to which someone could react with bliach is maybe the blood pudding, boubari. I think the other ones are like, tasty. During this period, we consume many desserts, like melomakarono, kourabies, diples. And it is New Year's Eve when we eat vasilopita, which is a cake that contains a coin. Greeks cut the slices and give one to each member of the family. Whoever finds the coin is going to be very lucky during this year. So whoever finds the coin is very happy and celebrates, producing interjections like "Yuppie," which is something like "Hooray, I found the coin." There is also a tradition connected with the chicken I mentioned before. As I referred, Greeks used to eat also chicken during Christmas period. So there is a part of the chicken that consists of two pieces, and it is like a V, as you can see here. So if there is a pregnant woman and we want to know if she's going to have a girl or a boy, we can take this V as an experiment. So a man holds it from the one part and a woman from the other part, and they drag it until it breaks. When it breaks, one has the bigger part. If the woman has the bigger part, the pregnant woman is going to have a girl. And if the man has the bigger part, the pregnant woman is going to have a boy. So, in each case, the man or the woman celebrates, producing sounds like "Yuppie" again, like in this case we saw before. So Let's see what people can say in other cases when they are happy. So, we are talking about emotive, expressive, happy interjections. When someone wants to express their satisfaction or admiration of something, they can use the interjection ah, or ach, or oh. Like if somebody goes on an excursion and sees a wonderful view from the top of a mountain, for example, they can say, ah, τι ωραία θέα, which means, ah, what a great view. Or we see here, ach, τι ωραία φούστα, ach, what a great skirt. Oh, τι ωραία ζωγραφιά, what a great painting. There are many uses of this and ah and oh, but at this point we will focus on this happy meaning. Two more interjections that express positive feelings are wow, you see that here, and oof. The first one is not difficult as it is common in many languages and has to do with enthusiasm and surprise. The second one expresses the relief. Let's see an example. If somebody, for example, has to do a very difficult presentation and is really stressed, when the presentation is over, they will feel relieved and they will produce a sound like oof, τελείωσε, oof, it's over. And let's now see in general what people say when they are unsatisfied, starting from the sense of pain. If somebody gets hurted, they can say, ow, at the time this is happening. If the pain is longer, you could hear this person producing an interjection like ah or oh. Speaking about pregnant women and babies before, we can suppose that the baby survived after the spotting and the whiz don't die. So now we have a boy or a girl who is older, like 8 years old, and one tooth of theirs falls out. The child will not produce sounds like yuppie, hooray, we saw before, but sounds like ah, oh, which mean pain, until the tooth falls out. Then the child is going to feel relieved, so the sound could be oof. The Greek curiosity here is that in this case, the children take their fallen teeth and they throw them to the roof of their house, saying the thing you can see here, πάρε κοκαλένιο, δώσ' μου σιδερένιο, which means, take this one and give me back an iron one, which means that I want back a stronger one, talking to the tooth fairy. Now, if something smells bad, Greek says, poof, τι μυρίζει έτσι? Poof, what smells like that? And when it comes to not exactly pain, but sadness, when something serious happens, we can say ach, vach, like ach, vach, τι πάθαμε, ach, vach, what happened to us? So until now, if there are any questions, you could type the questions and I will answer them, and then we will continue. So I will wait for a while. There are many people here. I'm happy for that. Okay. I guess there are no questions until now. I hope you understand all the things. Okay, so now, seeing in general what people say when they are happy and when they are unhappy, we will now see what they say if they agree or disagree. There are sounds that they can use instead of ne or όχι, instead of yes or no. Greeks can also use only their head and do this if they want to say yes, and this or this if they want to say no. But let's talk about the sounds. So, instead of saying yes, we could use the interjection or or ame or ne ame, which means yes, sure. And instead of saying no, we can say mm-mm, we can say ba, we can just say, or if our answer is really no, like a big no, like if we want to say there is no possibility, no for sure, no way, we can say this apapa with many pa. And the more we use this pa, the stronger is our refusal. We can say apapa. So now I'm gonna show you a part of a song which is famous in Greece, and it is a woman here. The song title is Apapa, and she doesn't want to get married, and she says Apapa, I don't want to get married. Apapa, I don't do things like that. Δεν κάνω τέτοια πράγματα. You're gonna hear that now. Okay. Okay, so you heard this many times here. And it is so common that we include that at our songs also. So until now, we talked about the interjections which are expressive. At this point, we're going to see the conative. And that is to say, the interjections we use when we have an aim and when we want the other person to do something or make them feel something. Starting with positive feelings, we say bravo or evye if we want to congratulate the other person. It is something like well done, bravo. There are also some interjections which we have already referred, as for example this you see here. What a great view, τι ωραία θέα. We can tell that to a person also, like τι όμορφη είσαι σήμερα. You're very beautiful today. At this category, there are also some interjections that just address to somebody without showing approval or disapproval. These are ade, this ade here, when we want to push somebody to do something. Like for example, ade, πήγαινε να της μιλήσεις. Ade, go talk to her. She's waiting for you. Ade. The interjection vur has the same meaning. We can say, for example, μη φοβάσαι τις εξετάσεις, vur. Don't be afraid of the exams. You got it, go get it, vur. And the last category here is the disapproval. So, if we don't want somebody close to us and we want them to go, we can say ust. It is like get out of here, ust. Another way to say that is ksut or ks. And we can tell that also to animals, like for example, if we don't want a cat or a bird at our balcony. We can say ks, 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 and usually doing this, ks, 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 ks. Go away. Another way to say that no is this s or moko. And we say that when we want to make the other person stop. So for sure, we show our disapproval. We can say s or moko. They both mean stop it now. S, moko. If we now want to show our disgust, we can say this ohu or amanpia or another use of oof, which means something like I can't stand anymore. Leave me alone. Oof, ohu, amanpia. Δεν αντέχω άλλο. Amanpia. Leave me alone. Get away. And very widespread is this eleos also, which means mercy. We can say eleos, mercy. And there is also the possibility that we want to boo somebody. It happens, unfortunately, if, for example, we are in a football field and there are two teams playing football. If Greeks want to boo one team, they can produce the sound oo, and they usually use their hands like this, saying ooh, if they don't want the team. So, of course, there is also the case to insult somebody. So if you really want this, the most widespread way to begin is the interjection I or ade. After that, you can use many imperative forms like ade pnixu, which means go get soaked. Really not kind. And you can also use the expression ade or I στο διάολο, which means go to hell when you're really angry. When we are very angry, we use this emphasizing at this s in the beginning of the preposition se, at sto here. So we're going to say something like ade στο διάολο, I στο διάολο, when we are really angry. So, for now, we have seen expressive and conative interjections, which we use when we like or when we don't like something or somebody, when we want to agree or when we disagree, when we want to show our approval or our disapproval. And we can see them all gathered here, just to remember them. So, we have seen the two categories, expressive and conative. So the first category, there are these interjections that can show the satisfaction. So this, tasty food. Yuppie, hooray. Ah, oh, what a great view. Wow. And oof, the presentation is over. I was really stressed. Dissatisfaction. Ow, when something hurts, pain. Or oh. Poof, when something smells bad. Vach, when something serious, something really bad happens. And then we can say yes by ναι, αμέ, or we can say no with ba, pa. And the second category are the conatives. So they are positive. We can say, τι όμορφη είσαι. You're very beautiful. We can say, bravo, congratulations, well done. This one that just encourages someone, like ade, vur, go talk to her. The negative ones, like ust, get out of here, ks, or s, silence, or ohu, aman pia, oof, when we can't stand anymore one situation. And this eleos, which means mercy. And when we want to boo or insult, we can do this woo, or I, or ade, with imperative forms, or with words like ade στο διάλο, with emphasizing. Okay. Regarding phatic interjections, there are not so many. It is this we have already mentioned, or when somebody is talking, or this ne. Okay. We just do them when we want to make the other person understand that we'll listen to them. Okay, and now we're gonna see some really common Greek interjections. But before that, maybe you have some questions. I will wait for a while again. So you can type your questions here, and I will answer them if there are any. Okay, and maybe you have some more questions in the end of this presentation, so I will go on. Let's begin with, we have a question, I think. Thank you very much. I'm really happy you like this webinar. So let's begin with this widespread A. A can mean many things. It can mean admiration and enthusiasm, as we have already seen, like, τι ωραία φούστα, what a great skirt. It can mean surprise, like, εδώ είσαι, πότε ήρθες, you're also here, surprise. It can mean exasperation if we're angry or impatient, like, έχει αργήσει πολύ το αεροπλάνο. There is a very big delay at this flight. Or, δεν θα τα πάμε καλά. We can't go on like this. If you are angry with somebody. It can mean ridicule, like if we disapprove someone's actions and behavior, we can say, τον βλάκα. What an idiot. Τον βλάκα. And it can also be a cognitive interjection when we understand something, like this dialogue. Ήρθε και η Ελένη. Eleni is here. Ποια Ελένη? Eleni who? Δεν θυμάσαι. Don't you remember? Εκείνη η Ξανθιά. This blonde woman. Ναι. I see. So it is cognitive. Conative. We have this aman here that, except for disgust, can be used in other cases also. We can say, aman, when something bad happens, to express our surprise and sadness. In this case, we separate somehow the two syllables and we produce a sound like aman. And it can also mean surprise in general, even if nothing bad happens. If somebody says, for example, something they didn't expect, they can show their surprise saying, Aman, this is Nick's car. Is he also here? Aman, το αυτοκίνητο του Νίκου. Είναι εδώ. The difference between the first and the second case is the intonation, because here the sound is more abrupt. We just say Aman and not Aman, which shows that something really bad is happening. We saw this ba as a no, if you remember this ba. But there is one more use. We can use it either as ba or connected with abba. When we didn't expect to hear the thing we heard and we want to show it, especially when we want to be ironic. Like, for example, if we don't appreciate a person and we hear some good news about them. Like, η Μαρία παντρεύεται. Maria is getting married. Ba, πώς κι έτσι. Ba, η Maria. Really? I didn't expect that. Ba, η Maria. Except for using this ade in order to encourage somebody to do something, if you remember this ade, go talk to her, go. Or in order to insult somebody, like at ade στο διάολο, go to hell, we can use that also in order to show our surprise. Like, Maria is going to be late. She told me so. But I just called her and she's coming in a minute. Ade. Surprise, ade. But when this ade is double and we say ade, it is ironic. It is like we tell somebody that they are crazy or have a strange behavior. Like at this, I like Maria, but I will not call her. I will not tell that to her. So we can react, ade, are you crazy? Go talk to her. Ade. This is a very common interjection, and by using that, we can express not only pain, as we saw, but also pleasure or enthusiasm, just like, τι ωραία θέα, what a great view. We can also show our desire, like, μακάρι να ήσουν μαζί μου. If only you were here with me. There's also another meaning, which has to do with surprise or shock. Like if we suddenly realize that somebody we hadn't noticed is inside the room, or if we hear a strange noise, a strange sound during the night and we feel terrified, we can say, and we usually do this, what was that? There's a different intonation, as you may be understood. Let's now continue with ahu. By producing this sound, we can express either solidarity and support or love and affection. In the first case, if, for example, somebody fell down, we could tell them, Ahu ponas, Ahu, does it hurt? May I help? In the second case, if we see a cute baby or a cute dog, for example, we can say, Αχου, τι χαριτωμένος σκύλος. Αχου, what a cute dog. And it means that we consider it beautiful, we admire and love that. Be careful, if it is a baby, you have to spot after that and wish don't die. The interjection e means a lot. It can mean dissatisfaction, like φτάνει, φεύγω. Okay, enough, I'm leaving, I'm done, φτάνει. It can mean contrast, like όχι, when you completely disagree with somebody, όχι, and you want to be intense. You can combine that with λοιπόν also and say, λοιπόν δεν συμφωνώ. Λοιπόν, I don't agree. Well, it's not okay. Λοιπόν όχι. It could be a comment to provoke silence and calmness. For example, if there is noise inside the classroom, the teacher can say, loudly. And they usually bounce the desk like this, like, so the children stop talking. And it could also be a question, like, θα πάμε σινεμά απόψε. This is like, we're going to go to the cinema tonight, aren't we? And it's like when we are sure that the answer is yes, and we just want a confirmation, like, your name is John, right? Σε λένε Νίκο, Now, with this interjection, we show our surprise if we see somebody we didn't expect. Like, if you go shopping and you see somebody unexpectedly, you can say, τι γίνεται? Like, what's up? And at this situation, we can use also this op. Op, τι κάνεις? And here we have this which means uncertainty. This is going to mean that you are not sure. You're thinking about it. I'm not sure. Let's see a Greek tradition when this means a lot. When a woman is getting married, it is very common here in Greece that all her family and friends are going to be very happy and they will be dancing all day long before the bride goes to the church. So during these hours, somebody from the relatives of the groom goes to the bride's house and puts money into the bride's wedding shoes. Strange, huh? Περίεργο, eh? This person puts more and more money, and every time the bride tries on the shoes to see if they suit her now, if they are no longer large for her. So usually the bride says many times, δεν ξέρω, είναι μεγάλα ακόμα, they're still large. So the person from the groom's family has to put more money in the shoes until they are no more large for the bride. And now the star of interjections, the famous opa. Even though most of you know that as an interjection we produce when we are dancing, this is not the only use. But we're going to start with this meaning. As we talked about a wedding tradition before, we can start saying that this opa is an interjection that accompanies our dances, and in Greece, when we are happy or when there is a wedding party, for example, it is very common to break plates while dancing and saying opa, like crazy people, really happy. Another thing we can show by saying opa is our surprise. Like, opa, είσαι και εσύ εδώ? Opa, you're also here? And it is just like this ep, op, we referred before. But this third use here, we're going to analyze now, is also very common. Maybe some of you have come to Greek islands during summer season. So when you're boarding to, or when you're getting off the ship, you have maybe heard these people that are responsible for the cars inside the ship's garage. So in a very loud way, they give some guidelines to the drivers saying ela, 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 which means like go, 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 go. And if they want them to stop, they say opa, and usually do this, opa. So opa means also stop. And we can tell that in other cases also, like if somebody asks us how much wine we want inside our glass. If the person pours wine in our glass and we want them to stop, it is very common to say opa, which means enough, I don't want. Okay, opa, it's okay. This popo is also a very common interjection. We can use that in many ways. We can use that when we are surprised, like Popo, τι ωραία τα μαλλιά σου. Oh, Popo, what a great new haircut, it's perfect. But it can also be negative, like Popo, γιατί έβαψες τα μαλλιά σου μαύρα. Popo, πώς είσαι έτσι? How did that happen? Why you dyed your hair black? You're awful. Popo. And when something is in general strains, like in Greece, στην Ελλάδα, it is the 27th of November, 27 Νοεμβρίου, and the temperature is 15 degrees. Popo. That's really strange. And it is the truth today. Now this oo, except for using ooh, ooh, in order to boo a football team, for example, and show our disapproval, we can use that ooh, which can mean a lot also. Let's see an example. Like if the question is, έφαγες πολλά κεράσια? Did you eat a lot of cherries? I can answer, ooh, and do this also, ooh. Όλο το καλάθι. Yes, a huge amount. The whole basket. Ooh, the whole basket. And we saw this as a no, if you remember. No. But when you use that many times, like, it means that we show our disapproval. Like if somebody has a wrong behavior, for example, insults everyone shamelessly, we can react like this and do this also to our t-shirt. Δεν ντρέπεσαι. Don't you feel the same? And similar to this is also this ftu, like ftusu. We saw this before, like spotting if there is a compliment. We can use it also in another way. The first case is when we feel insulted by somebody. So we can tell them something like, I can't believe you did that. Φτούσου. You should feel the same. Φτούσου δεν τρέπεσαι. Don't you feel the same? The second case is when we want to express our irritation. Like if we miss the train or the bus, and we can produce a sound like φτού, I missed the bus. I missed the train. Φτού, like damn it. Φτού. Last but not least, there are very detailed researches on just these two words. So here we're going to refer just the basic things. That is to say, when it comes to re and vre, the same interjection can indicate two completely different things. On the one hand, it could be a friendly interjection, but on the other hand, it could be really offensive. So when we use it in an offensive way, it is usually combined with an offensive word, an insult. For example, ρε βλάκα, ρε γελίε, you idiot, you're ridiculous. The strange thing here is that we can combine that also with the word friend, like ρε φίλε, but in this case we show our irritation, like in the sentence μισό λεπτό ρε φίλε, τι λες ρε φίλε. It's like a man, what are you talking about? Stop it. So even though we call the other person friend, it is not a friendly interjection here. On the other hand, when re, vre is friendly, we can combine that with pronouns like βρε Maria μου, μην ανησυχείς. My sweet Maria, don't worry. And it is very usual to combine that with a diminutive also, like βρε μαράκι, ρε αδερφούλα, my sweet sister. And it means the affection here. And in this case, we can also use this re or vre with a negative meaning word, like the word we mentioned before, vlakas and hazos, but without being offensive. On the contrary, we could show our affection in this way, combining re with a word like this, but diminutive. For example, ρε χαζούλη, σ' αγαπάω. Ρε χαζούλη, I love you. It is like you call the other person idiot because this poor thing can't see the positive things in life and understand how much you love them. Okay, so any questions now? I will wait if there are any questions. As I'm preparing one more link to show you, because we will have some interjections gathered in a video, and we're gonna see a small part of this. So I will put close here, and I will go here and do this, and we have our video here, and you just gonna hear some interjections like gathered together, and it will help you.
Ουφ, μου φύγε να βάλεις. Σουτ! Και μπρος, μάσε παιχνίδι.
Πού πάτε? Alt, stop. Για πού το βάλατε χωρίς εμένα?
Το πνεύμα του να πάρει. Νωρίς με ορίσετε σήμερα.
Τι θα παίξετε? Ωραία. Προσοχή.
Τι έχει μέσα το κουτί? Μαγικές λέξεις.
Λέξεις που φανερώνουν συναισθήματα. Λέξεις που φωνάζουν δυνατά συναισθήματα.
Αχ! Αχ!
Όχ, στον πόνο. Αχ, στη λύπη. Τώρα τίποτα δεν λείπει. Χα και στη χαρά, συναισθήματα πολλά ξεφωνίζουν δυνατά. Στεναχώρια και αηδία. Ουφ! Και αλή. Παπα. Περπατούν σαν σε κηδεία. Έπαινο και θαυμασμό. Έβγε, μπράβο και ποπό. Με και ο πάντα καλούν. Εμπρός, Μάρς παρακινούν. Και μπα, σαν απορούν. Και όταν δεν ξέρουν τι να πούν. Αμπά, για άρνηση σαφή, λέει μία και καλή. Μακάρι.
Okay, so now to see if you understand some things, you can maybe respond to some questions. So I will go to the surveys, and do you see the questions here? There are 5 questions, and you could answer them. I'm not sure if you see that. And you can respond to the questions. So maybe you have to click a button here, and I would like to see your answers to see if you understood the things. Okay, so let's see the first case. I will do this. I think you see that, right? I think you see the answers also. So at the question, you like your friend's new haircut. What are you going to say? So if you like your friend's new haircut, yes, the right answer is that you are going to say, wow, I really like it. Och is for if you don't like it. Second question, you don't like the way the food tastes. What are you going to say? And I see here this poof. It could be right, but we say that poof if something smells bad, not if it tastes bad. If it tastes bad, we say blach. And achvach, it is if something really bad happens. So the food could be something like, I don't know, like a worm, like really disgusting if you wanted to say achvach. The answer is blach. the right answer. So number 3, you want to congratulate your friends for their new job position. What are you going to say? Yes, I'm happy all of you, right? The right answer is bravo. Question number 4, you're very angry because somebody insulted you. What are you going to say? Yes, an insult, like adepnixu. If you say ame, it's like you say, yes, I agree with you, I'm an idiot. You say adepnixu, you also insult them. And question number 5, somebody just said something you don't like and you want to make him stop immediately. What are you going to say? Yes, you're going to say, opa, enough, opa. Okay, so I'm happy because the majority responded right, and I think you understood the things. So let's go back to the presentation and say in general that these were in general the Greek interjections and some traditions and Greek beliefs related to them. Of course, we could not refer all of them during a webinar, but I hope you got a good taste of them. It is really important for people who want to learn a foreign language to know some important traditions, curiosities, and things like interjections, because otherwise we could have a pragmatic failure. Imagine you just know the negative meaning of re, and you hear that from someone you love, thinking that they insult you. Or imagine yourself saying re in a case you shouldn't, so people could consider you rude. Or trying to get your car into the ship's garage, hearing oppa from the staff, and thinking that they want you to leave the car and start dancing. Of course, the examples were for fun here, but a misunderstanding could happen anyway. But even if it wasn't possible, it is good to learn some details of the country's culture. After all, learning a new language means learning a new culture, a new way of thinking, a new way of feeling, and a new way of acting. If there are more questions, I would like to see them. And thank you very much for your comments. I'm really happy. And if you want to contact with us, you can send your email at info@epolyglots.com. It was my pleasure to have you here today, and I wish you all the best. And I will do this for this presentation because I was very happy. I will do a hooray, like yippee! Thank you for everything, and good night. Bye.